Just caught up to Arman Tsarukyan, victorious in his debut. He called you out, Iron Michael Chandler, right here to the wrestling match. Are we going to see that?
Did he? I mean, number one, here, let me just say one thing about Arman Tsarukyan. One thing that I really respect about Arman is even when he's not fighting in the UFC, he's staying active, doing grappling matches, doing wrestling matches. So that's one thing I will say about him. He's staying active. With that being said, I would absolutely smash Arman Tsarukyan in a wrestling match after watching him tonight. Now, I will say he did look really good, really impressive, but Lance Palmer didn't look as good as he should have tonight. With that being said, Arman, I will smash you in the RAF wrestling ring. But I got my sights set on something later this summer. I think we all know.
Let's talk about that in two moments, because Arman Tsarukyan wants to face you, and maybe we can set that up in a future date.
Yeah.
What would be the prediction? How would that play out?
Man, I mean, he's good, he's strong, he's explosive, he's young, he's got great cardio. I mean, obviously he's from that, wherever he's from, Russia and somewhere over there in that area, they know how to wrestle. And he looked good tonight. He looked strong, he looked fast, he looked explosive. But with that being said, I think my good old-fashioned passionate Division I wrestling beats him every day of the week. So that could be fun. We'll see what happens.
So let's talk, my man. White House card, Conor McGregor. We've been teased about 7-8 title fights, but if Conor McGregor is fighting, it's a main event, and we all know all roads lead to Michael Chandler. You guys already have the Ultimate Fighter. We got to make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've got people out there talking about other possibilities, but the only road that leads to the White House and Conor's comeback is me. We have to finish the Ultimate Fighter 31. There's some other names being thrown around, a guy that he fought a decade ago and already fought twice. Some of these other matchups that could possibly be. Me and Conor is the most explosive, the most exciting, the most intriguing, and the most violent fight that we can put on the South Lawn of the White House. And that's full stop. No ifs, ands, no buts about it. Me and Conor have built this thing. Me and Conor, he wants to fight me. He's been public about that. I want to fight him. He's been public about it. So we want it. He wants it. Does the UFC want it? I think the UFC wants it. The UFC wants Conor at the White House. You can't do the UFC White House card without the sport's biggest star. And you also can't not sit here and not give Conor McGregor his flowers. He is the biggest name, the most intriguing person that has ever been in the sport of mixed martial arts. So he has to be on the White House lawn. And there is only one guy that he should fight, and that's me. So it makes a lot of sense, and I think we're going to do it here in a couple months' time.
What have you made of his training? What have you made of the footage that you've seen?
Well, you saw John Kavanaugh on Ariel's show. He was talking about, we brought guys in, we're training for Chandler. They are bringing guys in, orthodox wrestlers, right-handed guys, to fight me. So it makes a ton of sense. And obviously, there's going to be a bunch of hoopla. There's going to be a bunch of smoke and mirrors. There's going to be a bunch of, vague terms being thrown around. But it's me, it's Conor, it's at the White House. Me and him. That's it. There's no other fight to make. So that's what I'm planning for, and I'm expecting to get the call. I mean, we've already had some talks. Talks are happening as we speak, and we're moving in that direction.
That's what the schmo was going to ask next. What was the last conversation that you had with the UFC brass?
I mean, there's obviously been public conversations via interviews all over the world that he's doing, that I'm doing, that the UFC is doing, that Dana's doing, Hunter Campbell. So as of right now, talks are happening. We're moving in that direction, but it is the biggest fight to ever happen ever in combat sports. So it's going to take a little bit longer, and it may one day just pop up out of nowhere. So obviously, like Dana said, it's going to be announced somewhere around February. So everybody stay tuned, but expect Conor versus Chandler at the White House.
So it's safe to say the next time we see Iron Michael Chandler compete inside the UFC octagon, it will be June, White House.
June, White House. That's the plan. As of right now, I'm just doing what I've done my entire career. That's I'm going to stay ready. I'm going to stay in shape. Conor looks motivated. We've all seen, it's well documented across the social medias and in the media cycle, that the changes that Conor has made as a man. There's nobody that's had more pressure on him, brighter lights, bigger platforms, more eyeballs on him than Conor McGregor. And the way that he has handled it and then come back from it. So I think he's kind of turned a corner. He's laser focused on the White House, and you can't make a White House card without Conor McGregor. You can't make a White House card without Conor McGregor and the only guy that he should fight, which is me. So it makes a lot of sense. June 14th, I think. We're not 100% sure about the date, but I do know the G7 summit got moved because of June 14th. So it really sounds like June 14th, South Lawn, White House, Chandler versus McGregor. Two guys that I respect a ton. I've loved watching Patty rise, and even fighting him, obviously having a ton of respect for him. Gaethje, fight of the year 2021 or 2022, whatever it was. We shared the octagon together. Paddy is better than everybody thinks. Paddy is better than you think, the entire media thinks, the entire world thinks. He's better than the entire MMA landscape thinks. With that being said, Justin Gaethje is always game. Justin Gaethje always shows up, and Justin Gaethje is always violent and dangerous. It's a pick'em fight for me. I do think Gaethje is going to look across the octagon, see a guy that he should beat, but he's not as easy to beat as he thinks he is, so it's going to be a very interesting fight.
If you were in Arman Tsarukyan's shoes, what would you be doing?
I'd just stay busy. I actually, like I said, to give him his flowers, he is staying busy. He's doing grappling matches, he's doing wrestling matches. I love that he's staying busy. You know, it was unfortunate for him pulling out of the fight against Islam, didn't get the title fight, and then kind of got passed over for this one. I'm not sure. There's things that happen behind the scenes. Like if you don't do your job, if you don't sign a contract and then be a man of your word, bad things happen. So I think he's kind of in that position. But with that being said, I think he's done a great job of staying busy, and I respect him for that. But also, if he's around here, I might actually try to go see where he's at. So we'll see.
What are you going to do, have a meal with the guy?
No, just, you know, actually, he is a big YouTube meal guy, right? No, just, I mean, have a conversation, see what's up. But like I said, I've got a ton of respect for him. That's the thing. You know this. We all have a ton of respect for each other. I'm not going to go here and fight him in the backstage of RAF 05 or whatever, but you have these conversations, and we have a ton of respect for each other. But, you know, he's definitely a guy that I could see myself fighting at some point. But right now, we're laser-focused. South Lawn, White House, Conor McGregor, main event.